May, come. This is May. I have more treats for you right here. Let's turn around so everybody can see how pretty you are. There, May. This is May's roadmap to success. And so May is a wire fox terrier, and she, whoops, I'm sorry, sweetheart. This is why I don't like to manhandle dogs. And I don't think she was hurting. I think that was more a surprise. And so basically, in this session, we went over a lot about rules and structure. She really didn't have a lot of rules. Her guardians exercise her more than most of my clients do, but she probably could get a little bit more exercise as well. So we started off about talking about exercise. The different creative ways that I like to exercise dogs inside, especially in the Midwest. We have stairs in this house, so I talked about using the doggy stairmaster, as I call it. So I go to the top of the stairs, I touch the dog's nose with a treat, I throw the treat to the bottom of the stairs. When she runs down and licks it up, we come up with the word that means go down. So like maybe say Mexico, like south of the border. And then you show her that you have a treat and have her come back up and give her another treat and call it like Denver, which is actually what we call this dog bed. And and the first time you do it with an empty stomach, and just keep on throwing those treats up and down, count each down up as 1, and keep doing this until eventually she just says, I'm not going down there, you're crazy. I've gone down there 48 times. And we know what her maximum number is. Then we want to exercise her about 25 to 75% of her maximum number. And you're going to play around with the elements. Now, another thing we did was we used the laser, and she likes to chase the laser a little bit. I'm just doing this to support myself, because if I lean against this thing, it's going to move the TV back. And so chasing the laser is a nice way to burn some excess energy. She likes to fetch, but she doesn't fetch a ton. So what I would do is when she brings you the ball and she wants to fetch, remember you say fetch 3 times. As I throw the ball, I make her sit. And as soon as she sits, I throw the ball and say the word fetch. When she goes and picks it up, I say the word fetch, and then I hold the treat here. Don't tell her to drop it, and don't try to grab it. And as soon as she drops it, pop in her mouth and say the word fetch. And then pick it up, tell her to sit, and then throw it again. And at first you might only get 3, but eventually you might get 4 and 5 and so on and so forth. And eventually she'll, that's a nice way to exercise if you can get her to do it more and more often. Let me see. So the first time you do it maximum, max her out so you know what the maximum number is. And then each day you're going to keep that exercise journal and play around with the elements. Maybe one day you try 25 up downs on the stairs. And you do it 4 times a day, and then your overall grade is like a D-. You're like, okay, well, next time, maybe we're going to go to 35 up, downs on the stairs. Or instead of 4 stairs, we're going to do 5 stairs throughout the day. 5 reps, not reps, but 5 stair exercises. And so you keep on playing around with those elements until eventually you give your dog a letter grade of an A. Now you know how much exercise the dog needs. Now, May is actually kenneled for quite a bit longer than I would like to have her kenneled for. Usually, you don't want to have a dog in a kennel for longer than 4 hours, but her guardians work really far away from here, so they really can't come back for lunch. So we talked about setting up maybe the kitchen or a long-term confinement area so that she can actually have a little bit of time and area. I'd like her to get to the point where she doesn't have to be kenneled at all. And the only reason the guardians do that is because of some accidents. So I'll interrupt this discussion of rules to go over my quick summation of how you potty train a dog. So we need to come up with a funny word like pootin'. And so we take her outside, give her 5 to 5 minutes of potty. And as soon as she starts to pee or poop, same word for both, I would say the word pootin' in a normal tone of voice. When she gets done, I pop out a treat, pop in her mouth, and say the word pootin' a second time. And actually what I would probably do is for the first week, you might do like a jackpot where you say pootin', pull out another one, pootin'. So she gets like 5 treats. Pootin', 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 pootin'. Yeah, I know, it's hard to say. And then, and so we wanted to go, holy cow, what did I just do? I just got the mother load of treats. I got to remember what I did so I can do this again and get the same reward. And so the times the dog's most likely to go is right after waking up, 5 minutes after eating, and 15 minutes after starting playtime. And on a potty train a puppy, I usually take about once an hour. And so we want to get to the point where she really whimpers or whines. And if I take her in 5 minutes, she doesn't go, I bring her back in, put her on a leash or carry her or put her in the kennel for up to 15 minutes. And when she starts protesting, I give her another 5 minutes outside and keep repeating that process till eventually she eliminates. And when she does, we can say the word pootin' and give her that good reward. All right, so some of the rules we talked about, getting past exercise, going to rules, not being allowed in the furniture. I'd recommend the guardians get X mats. It's the letter X and an MATS. You can get those on Amazon. They're about 11, 12 bucks a piece. You probably need to get 3 for this couch. I don't see anything else in this room that she's probably going to get up on. So you put those up there, and that blocks her from getting up there. And then, like if you guys are sitting on the couch, right now there's a couch behind the camera, the guardian's kind of sitting, one is sitting here, one sitting there, and there's an open space in between. You'd put that X mat right here in between. And then don't sit here like guarding, But if she starts to come over and she comes over this way and she's going to try to jump up on my lap, which she does frequently, at the last minute, I'm going to hold up my hand to block her while she's in the air. Now, we don't want to hurt our dog, but if she kind of jumps up and crashes, that'll kind of help her learn that lesson. Now, if she does jump up and I'm not paying attention, I'm just going to put my arms like this so she can't jump either way, and I'm just going to stand up, and that eliminates my lap and she'll get down. Now, we can also teach her off by basically just touching her if she's on the couch. Come here, sweetheart. So let's say this is the couch. You're not coming fully on here. Let's say she's on the couch. I would just throw the treat on the ground, and then when she licks it up, jumps on the couch and licks it up, I would say the word off. Remember when she jumps up on you? Freeze. Cross your arms across your chest and just freeze, become uninteresting, and stand up straight, look at the ceiling, and become boring. As soon as she jumps down, pet her and say the word off. So what we're saying is when you jump up on a human, which is a way of claiming, or it could be just pay attention to me, but when you jump up on a human, it causes them to freeze and become boring. But as soon as you get down, they start petting you. Well, the more often that I get down and they have that happen, the more I'm going to want to do that. Let me see. Other rules we talked about when we're eating this couch here, I would say she's not allowed. There's a box that's like maybe about 5 feet away from the edge of the couch to here, and the same width as the couch. And she's not allowed to go in that area while we're eating a snack. Once the food's gone, she can go back to go in that area. Let me see. Not allowed. Has to sit before I let her in or out of the door. Go to the door. Say sit once. If she doesn't sit within 3 seconds, walk away somewhere close to the door and sit down. And no matter what she does, ignore her. After 1 minute, go back to the door and tell her again. Sit. She doesn't sit within 3 seconds, walk away for 2 minutes. Next time for 4 minutes, then 8 minutes. Keep doubling the length of time. And try to set a timer. It goes by pretty fast. And as soon as you go say sit and she sits, open that door immediately. So she eventually will go sit at the door, because when I sit at the door, that's when the door flies open. And that'll train her to do that. Let me see, what else? Not being allowed in the kitchen when we're preparing food. We went over a video above on how to do that. I would do the same sort of thing for the dining room. Now, dining room is harder because once she gets on the table, she's lower to the ground, and that kind of creates a favorable terrain for her. So you might want to practice what I talked about. You're just going in there, sitting down, and then having a treat. When she comes over to you, touch her, and then toss it right outside off the carpet when she goes over and gets it. But toss it this way, this way, this way, that way. So you can say off or out to mean move off the carpet in every direction. And then, there we go. She heard it barking. And again, Terry. And I think the lack of rules and structures confuse her. I think she needs to protect her humans. So anytime she hears a dog, she tears off. She thinks that her job is to be the security dog. The more that we enforce these rules, the more the dog sees us acting like leaders. So another rule would be not let the dog run up and down the stairs ahead of us, which I watched her do. And the way to do that is start walking up the stairs, and as soon as she recognizes where you're going, she's going to run in front of you. As soon as she passes in front of you, don't say a word, just turn around and come back down the stairs. So what you're saying is when you take the leadership position, I lose interest in the activity. Now, this will probably take you back and forth a whole lot of times. Don't think that that the dog is dumb or anything like that. We just need different repetitions, but it has to be precise. As soon as her chest, I usually let the nose go, but as soon as the chest passes my torso, that's when I turn around and go sit back down. And try to do this like when you're not even planning on going upstairs. Because when you get frustrated, when you want to go upstairs to change and put a sweater on, and you have to keep on stopping, well, she's stopping you from doing it. So instead, when we're going to the bathroom, get up and take a couple steps on the stairs. She races up it, come down and go to the bathroom. She goes like, goes down, and you're in the bathroom anyways. So try to set yourself up for success by not waiting until the last minute when you need her to perform. Try to recreate situations where you can help her practice the behavior that you want, like we talked about in the video above. Okay, so another rule. The humans need to eat something before they feed her, and stop leaving food in her bowl. I noticed in the kitchen when we were doing that video, there's food left in the bowl. That creates, I don't really have to eat it because it's always sitting there. So what I do is I go in there, put food in the bowl. The dog's not, and I would again feed probably like 3/4 of a cup in the morning and a half cup in the evening. And then basically when she goes over and, or I put the food down, she's not allowed to come within 7 feet of it. Then I grab a chip, cracker, or I can eat real breakfast or whatever it is. Something that takes 5 or more bites, and it has to be a solid, it can't be a liquid. And as soon as she gets done, I get done, then I invite her over to eat the food. And when she takes her first bite of food, come up with a name that means to eat your food, like your favorite restaurant, favorite dish. So let's say you say lasagna every time she takes her first bite of food. After about a month or two, you'll be able to say lasagna. She knows that's my command word. Excuse me, my command word to eat. Come. This is passive training, which we're going to talk about in a sec. Come. All right, so we also went over how to teach her how to use the dog bed. If you forget how to do that, message me. I have videos on how to go through this. But for the next 3 days, try to toss 10 treats 3 times a day and leave treats here. And again, put a white towel on it to make it easy for her to see. All right, so those are some examples of rules. We also went over adding structure. So right now, what I said just a minute ago, passive training. She came to me on her own. I didn't ask her to come, but when she did come, I rewarded her and I marked it with the command word. Remember, only say the command word. Try to avoid saying good sit, good come, just come. And so every time she does things that you like on her own organically, pet her and reward her. So if she comes up and sits down next to you, pet her and say sit. If she lays down, pet her and say crash, or whatever your word is for lay down. If she comes to you, pet her and say come. Come up with a command word for this, or a reminder word for the humans. So if I'm sitting here and not paying attention and she came up to me, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Well, we'll talk, so basically they should recognize, then I would turn and reward her. Recognize means I missed an opportunity, somebody else saw it. Now right there you saw what she's doing is she's trying to demand attention. She's telling me to pet her. Sit. Sit. So remember, whenever possible, pet under the chin and say just the command word. So she was telling me what to do. If I listen to her and do what she wants, then she thinks she's in charge of me, and that was related to the barking and protection. So what I do instead is when she demands attention from me, I give her a counter, or I tell her to sit. She's already sitting, I ask her to sit over here or ask her to lay down. She has to do something to change her state, and I would not recommend shake, but she can do any other trick or command that she knows. And so after a while, what she learns is I can't tell the humans what to do, and telling the humans what to do is a leader's mindset. I want her to have a follower's mindset. So now if I come and sit in front of the people to prepay for attention, they pet me. I put it down. Crash. There you go. So we're just going to make her earn that affection from now on. And remember to use the watchword of paycheck. If somebody comes in the room and you see somebody's petting the dog and she's standing up, you assume that person forgot. We say paycheck, that person, I would stop petting. I would say sit or crash. When she sits or crash, I pet her on the chin and say, actually, I asked her to sit before when you started coming down the stairs. She stood up and I continued petting her. But thanks for reminding me. Remember, that's a positive. And then, let me see. And then if she does come up and sits down to prepay for attention, which she will, make sure we do our recognizing and rewarding her for this. Can you see her on camera? No, you can tilt it a little bit if you want. You can tilt the base a little bit. There you go. She is pretty comfortable. Yes. She's a lazy dog right now, which we like. All right, so the more that you make her earn that affection, the more that she has respect for you as an authority figure, the more she practices doing that particular activity, and the more that she has a boost of self-esteem because she earned that affection as opposed to being given that affection. And boosting her self-esteem is be a great thing to do. Another thing I'd like you guys to do is go to YouTube. Look for dog tricks. And maybe once this Sunday, Guardian A teaches how to roll over. Then all week long before you go, before I feed you, before I pet you, roll over, roll over, roll over for everything. After a while, she's just rolling over like there's no tomorrow. Then the next Sunday, the other Guardian takes over. And if you teach roll over, the next thing you should teach is play dead. They kind of use the same technique. So bang, flaps on the, bang, flaps on the, and then she gets your food or whatever it is. If each one of you does that for 4 tricks, at the end of 2 months, she'll have 8 new commands. That will substantially boost her self-esteem. It'll also help you get better at reading her body language and help her practice respecting you a little bit more as an authority figure. Can I get you over here without you complaining? We'll see how good of a touch I have. Yes. Oh, yes. Yes. And if a dog gives you goes belly up, that's a good sign that I'm trusting and I'm relaxed and comfortable. Now, if she does it all the time and you start petting her, she immediately flips over. That might be too submissive. I might stop petting when she does that. Remember, that's the starting and stopping of your attention is a wonderful way to reward or tell her you don't like things. So you're petting her, she jumps up on you, or she puts her paw on your arm, stop petting her. And as soon as the paw goes down on the ground, then start petting her again. Yes, you want to get back down? Okay, I won't fight you on it. So the more that we engage and reward her for the desired actions, behaviors, the more she'll do them. And the more that we disengage when she does things that we don't want, the less she'll be apt to do those things. Now, when you're out walking her, for right now, she is dog reactive to some dogs. One of the best things you do is increase the distance. And so if she's reacting, just try to walk in the street, walk around a car or a tree or something to block her visual acuity from something. Oh yes, she's going straight for the treats. Yes, she's a smarty pants. But the best thing you do is increase the distance and distract her a little bit. I'm hoping that the rules and structure that we went over will help eliminate a lot of these puppy problems. But if she is still continuing in about a month from now, message us, and when you guys come to Omaha, we can set up a behavior adjustment training session with another dog and help her practice. Because what dogs are saying when they're aggressive is like, I don't like you this close. And if I act aggressive, that makes you turn around and walk away. Well, the other option is I can turn around and walk away as a dog, but dogs are front facing. They don't remember those things. So we have to teach them how to do it. That's what we do for behavior adjustment training. Let me see. Remember to use those escalating consequences, and the exercise that we did above really was a great illustration of it. Remember to hiss. Just keep your hisses like maybe 1 second, 2 seconds. You guys were hissing a little bit longer than I like. Remember, it's hiss first, then stand up, then march. Now in the kitchen, we were already standing, so we went to hiss to march. And so remember, as soon as you're marching or as soon as she crosses across that threshold, we stop. But don't slow down and stop before you reach that threshold. I think that's part of the reason why she wasn't quite getting it at first. And it'll take a lot of back and forth, and that's okay. Like I said, the more that you set up these scenarios and help her practice, the better at them she'll get. And I really think if you guys get her, increase her exercise, that's going to be pretty profound in terms of an improvement. Sit. And remember, only say it once. If she doesn't do it, then just wait. Now, I like to use my hands like this to make a dog sit. And then I normally would have a treat and let her lick it off my hand, and then I put her under her chin and say just the word sit, not good sit, just sit. All right, come here one more time. Get this one. It's right here. I know you're blind. She's not really blind. Her bangs are very long. Sit. May sit. Terrier. Oh, also setting up that long-term confinement or like your kitchen that we talked about, I think will really help. Well, this is May, and this is May's roadmap to success. Remember, everything you do trains your dog. Only sometimes you mean it.